Hey guys, it's Car Guy 11. I have the refreshed 2024 Toyota GR86 behind me, and today I'm going to show you all the updates, including the newly available performance package, which this model has, and I'm going to compare it to its chief competitor, the refreshed 2024 ND3 Miata that I just got out of last week, so definitely stay tuned for this one. Guys, first of all, today I'm in a 2024 GR86 Premium, and I made a full review video a couple years back when this model was introduced, so I will link that below and in the card above. But today we're going to talk about the changes for 2024 and, like I said, compare it to the Miata, which also just got a refresh for 24. And the two big changes they made for this model year is a safety package and a performance package. So let's talk about both of those now. So I'm actually going to talk about the safety package first because it really makes this vehicle stand out for the uniqueness of it. And let me explain. So for 2024, all models of the GR86, including the manuals that I'm in today, get the eyesight system, and that is a camera-based system at the top of the windshield here to give you active driving safety, and that includes forward collision warning and braking. So if you're approaching too fast to a vehicle in front, it will give you a warning on the dash. In addition, with that eyesight system, you're going to get auto high beams because it uses those same cameras to tell whether to turn on or off those high beams. So very nice feature as well. It also gives you lane departure warning, which is just a beep on the dash and a warning. But the biggest and most notable addition is adaptive cruise control. And it is so rare to have adaptive cruise control in a manual transmission. Toyota does give it in the Corollas, but not many other manufacturers do that, including the new manual GR Supra is not available with adaptive cruise control. And I tested it out this week, and it is awesome to have it even in a manual transmission. So let me show you that footage now. Okay, using the adaptive cruise control in just city traffic here, and it's doing a nice job. I'm loafing around in 6th gear, only at like 40 miles per hour. And as I said, this is a manual transmission, a rare manual transmission using adaptive cruise control. I think this feature should be made available to more cars with manual transmissions because it's still useful. And what it will do is, when you slow down to 15 miles per hour, it will kick out, so you're not stalling the engine. But even in top gear, 6th gear, which I am now, you can get down to 15 miles per hour without stalling the vehicle, which is really cool. And you just, when that happens, it beeps, clutch in, and you take over. So, and this is coming to a stop in the manual, so it just beeped, and with the symbol, the off symbol on the dash, and I just took over, pushed the clutch in, and brake. And it's simple as that. That's how you can adapt it for manual transmissions. Back to 1st gear, accelerating, and then I can hit resume on the stock to resume the adaptive cruise control, and I can still change gears, clutch in and all, and it will still stay active. So I'm in 4th gear now. I'll switch up to 5th, and it continues accelerating. It doesn't rev the engine or anything. We're climbing a hill, so I won't go up into 6th gear, but you can upshift and downshift, and the cruise control will stay engaged. So very nicely integrated. And again, I wish more manual transmissions vehicles offered this, including the new 2024 Miata refresh that adopts it for the automatic transmission, but not the manual. I would love to see it in the manual in that vehicle as well. And of course, in this vehicle, you're not getting any kind of steering assist or lane centering. It just beeps when you go over the lane lines. So I just went over the lane line on purpose there to show you that beep. It doesn't give any kind of steering assist. All right, so let's move on to the performance package, which is available. And again, a very nice addition. Now this package can actually be retrofitted to a 22 and above GR86 with 18-inch wheels, because they need to fit the larger brakes, which are about an inch larger front and rear rotors, plus those beautiful fixed Brembo calipers front and rear. It also includes updated Sachs dampers, which give a more sporty feel and more controlled feel. And that package only costs $1,500, and I think it's a no-brainer to get it. So let me show you some back road driving I did on a rally, demonstrating the performance package. Taking it on some of these bumpier back roads, I feel like the suspension, the damping is a little bit more controlled. It's not bouncing up and down as much as the standard shocks. Very nice turn in, sharp. You get the rear out. I think the ride is pretty similar. It might be a little bit more taut than the standard suspension. Pretty easy to rev match, although I'd love to see auto rev matching in this car. Very tight corner here. Very neutral handling, and again, you can control it with the throttle. Being a rear wheel drive, I love rear wheel drive chassis. Much preferred over front wheel drive, in my opinion. Oh, a little bit down on power there. Like it's more confident inspiring than the Miata, even though the Miata has been revised. It's still a little bit more composed, less body lean in the corners. Steering has a nice feel, although I do prefer the Miata steering slightly better after the refresh for 24. I believe these tires have more grip than the Miata as well, and these are 215 Michelin Pilot 4s, where the Miata had 205 non-Michelin tires. And these Brembo brakes really do feel nice, powerful. I wouldn't say they're a night and day difference from the standard brakes, but they're gonna have a lot more endurance on track or this kind of really spirited mountain driving. In addition, they look beautiful. Those red painted fixed calipers front and rear, which is awesome. My Supra doesn't even have a fixed caliper in the rear. Power-wise, it can't quite keep up. I will say that. It's still a fun, lightweight car. You don't need a ton of power to have fun in a car. So this Boxer 2.4 liter Subaru engine is 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. You could set the shift, light, and beep. That is adjustable in the radio. And you want to do that because in actuality, it's weird. The red line is not 7,500. It's just below that. If you take it to 75, you're gonna hit the rev limiter. So I think it's more like, honestly, like 7,250, something like that. Now I am running in the track mode, which reduces the stability control. And I just got the tail out there starting from a left-hand turn. Nice controlled slide. That was really fun, and it didn't really step in much because I was in that track mode. You just hold down that button for a few seconds. You also get a different rev counter on the dash. It's a bar graph instead of the round dial. Miata just got a track mode for the 24 refresh, which I really like. One thing they changed since the last time I had this car, in track mode, you now have access to all of the gauges on the left-hand side. You can see the fuel economy and such, where before you were locked in to just the temperatures. You couldn't change that. So I'm glad they did add that feature, because now you can run track mode more on the street if you like. So this vehicle is still a blast, and I love driving it all week. So let's talk about some of the differences between it and the Miata now. Now this vehicle weighs 500 pounds more than the Miata. It's hard to believe, and it's hard to even notice that difference, but yes, it's actually right around 2,800 pounds, where the Miata is under 2,400 pounds. This is a lot larger, and you have back seats. You can't really use them, but you can use them for stuff. And it has a larger trunk as well. But in general, you do have a little bit more cabin space. You have better cup holders. Well, to be honest, I'm not thrilled with the cup holders in the back here, because I am hitting it with my elbow. But it has a nice door pocket for a big bottle that you can use, and that works well. And I end up just using the console here for an armrest if you keep it closed. Another thing, the Miata has wireless CarPlay. This vehicle, you have to still use the wire, and there's really no other place for the phone and hook up, so you have to put it in that cup holder, which again takes up the space of the cup holder. So it's wired CarPlay and Android Auto. In addition to the Miata's wireless CarPlay, it has a much better stereo Bose system, where the GR, it's okay, but it's definitely outpowered by the Miata. The diff on this holds well. This is a torsion rear diff, where the Miata got an updated diff. But this is super confidence inspiring. Now, the gearing, I prefer the gearing in this GR86 as well. It actually feels a little quicker because of the shorter gears. Now, I am paying a penalty in fuel economy for that short gearing. I'm only getting around a little over 21 miles per gallon. It's rated for 22, but in the Miata, I was getting about 30 miles per gallon. So a lot better fuel economy in the Miata. I guess that lower weight helps, and the taller gearing in the Miata helps. One thing this GR86 is missing though is dimming rear view mirrors, which is a strange one. It's not available. In the Miata it is. Now both have a rather noisy ride, especially like on the highway or like rough pavement like I'm on now. I guess the Miata is a tad worse, but this isn't much better. You would think it would be with the fixed roof. Now the ride is pretty similar in both vehicles, and even with this sport tuned suspension, it's not overly harsh, but they're definitely not luxury car rides. But you do get a little bit more chassis rigidity in the GR86, so it feels a little bit more solid. Now the GR86 also has a better digital display, and it shows the gear. Well, the Miata does show the gear as well, but digital speedometer. I love having the digital speedometer available, and that's available in the track mode or the standard drive mode. Now the seats in the GR86, again, I feel are superior. There's more bolstering on the sides, although it's still missing the lumbar support on both cars. Okay, let's talk about pricing now. So again, they're very similar priced. The Miata is slightly more expensive, but you are getting a convertible. So this vehicle fully loaded with that performance package is $34,500. Now there is a special model for 2024, special edition model that is a little bit more, but you're not getting any more features. And the Miata I just got out of was right around $36,000. That had a couple paint options and stuff. Now the Miata is also available with that performance package, but you're going to be spending a couple $1,000s more for those Brembo brakes. So all in all, this GR86 is a few $1,000s cheaper than a similarly equipped Miata. This is definitely the way I'd go. It's a better value. Unless you really want the convertible experience, which some people do, and I respect that, then go for the Miata. In addition, you're getting a lot better chassis rigidity in the GR86 because it's a fixed roof. You don't have to worry about the flex in a convertible. So I really prefer the GR86 pretty much all the way around, besides for those couple things: better stereo, wireless CarPlay, dimming mirrors, little stuff like that. And of course the big one is the adaptive cruise control in here. For me is a big one. I know these cars are meant to be driven, but that feature is so nice to have, even in a manual, that it's hard to live without if you don't have it. So that's my opinion. Guys, give me your comments below. What do you think? Which one would you go for? GR86, Miata, both excellent options, and a dying breed, being a lightweight sports car and a lightweight, reasonably priced sports car. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.